The United States and China, as you know, just agreed to slash tariffs in an effort to de-escalate tensions. What is your take on the outcomes of the US-China trade negotiations in Switzerland?
Okay, so Lena, I want to preface this. I mean, you have to go back to the big bluff. But the fact is, everybody sees, in essence, everyone sees everybody's cards. Donald Trump trying to convince the world, and China in particular, that he had a royal straight flush. The problem with that is everyone can see his cards. And quite frankly, he doesn't. So they called his bluff. Why was Trump doing this? He simply has this vision of America basically surrounded by tributaries, countries that give, and America extracts, they give, and they're, it's like the schoolyard bully. His goal is to take everybody's lunch money and have them thank him for it. So in the end, many countries kind of waited and see. You had countries who went and tried to deal with Donald Trump, most notably Canada. That didn't work out very well for, quote, Governor Trudeau. So that was the intention. It obviously didn't work. And the reason it doesn't work isn't because of the international situation. Tariffs are taxes. Countries don't pay them. I can't say this enough. Whoever imported them has to pay the tariff. The importers will certainly ask to have a discount, and those who are exporting can say yes or no. And then they have to decide how much of that they're going to pass on. And when they do, it's going to mean inflation for the American public. Empty shelves generally drive prices up. Americans, before the election, over 70% of them thought that they were living paycheck to paycheck. Now, if it wasn't a reality, but this is how they felt. Imagine how they feel as they go forward. They're looking towards higher prices. The poor are actually going out and doing payday loans to buy groceries. They go to a grocery store. They don't have credit. They don't have cash. They do is they sign over their paycheck, and they're paying the equivalent of 300 to 500% inflation on a yearly basis so that they can buy groceries to feed them. This is the state of America. Over 10% are impoverished. The middle class has gone from 61% in 1971 to a reported last year, when they looked at median income, to 40%. Middle class has disappeared. Most have dropped down into the poor. So when you start talking about what happened there, it was a bluff. It was called. But China has to be the adult in the room. Time is on China's side. Does it hurt China? Absolutely. There are small, medium-sized business entities that are really, really hurting right now because of the uncertainty that Donald Trump has created. But the fact is, the U.S. consumers are being hit harder. They're the ones who are paying the tariffs. And as a result of that, there was a time limit on how long Trump could withstand the pressure of the very people who voted him into office. If as long as they thought he had a plan, that he was going to do something to turn the situation around, I think many of his supporters said, okay, we can take a little pain. A little pain doesn't mean losing your house or your business, defaulting on your credit cards, your student loans, your car loan. Now, this isn't what they're looking for. The number one priority for the people who voted for Donald Trump and held their nose was that he was, in their minds, a businessman, somebody who understood pricing. And he promised that day one, in his campaign appearances, day one, he was going to control prices. Well, he hasn't. So today we find ourselves with Trump facing the reality he cannot impose these tariffs, not only for everything I've said, but also because it's affecting the long-term bond rate. The U.S. economy goes down, and it has to pay more for its debt, and the debts increase because he's passing a $4 trillion gift to the very wealthy. Last year, the budget was $6 billion, and the tax revenues were $4 billion. That's a $2 billion gap. That went on to the debt pile. And this year, it's going to be even worse. See, all of a sudden, he realized that was the first time he said, well, we'll have a 90-day reprieve on these, imposition of these tariffs. His people were on Capitol Hill before a congressional committee testifying that we are solid. We stand behind these tariffs. We will never get in. Mm-hmm. And a congressman said to him, hey, your boss just tweeted and he's going to put it on hold for 90 days. What do you have to say about that? It was laughable, really, really laughable. So, this is the state of chaos that is in the Trump administration, and is why nobody believes that they can trust him. They don't know what's going to happen next. And if you're a businessman, consumer, you want to have some certainty. Right now, there's no trust, no certainty. So a long-winded way of saying that the situation as it stands was forced. It was inevitable. The question is, what happens from here?